Move over, Lannisters. A House of the Dragon scene is taking us back to the ickiest days of Game of Thrones. Warning, spoilers ahead for House of the Dragon Episode 4. If that scene in the depths of King's Landing's underworld grossed you out, you're not alone, but the actors involved were apparently just fine with it. In the 4th episode of this brand new hit Game of Thrones spin-off from HBO, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, played in her youth by Millie Alcock, ends up exploring the underbelly of King's Landing with her troublemaking uncle Daemon, who takes her beyond the walls of the Red Keep for a stealthy night on the town. After taking in a crude show about the Targaryen line of succession, which paints Rhaenyra in a pretty unflattering light, and several drinks, the two abscond to a brothel together, which gets pretty weird pretty quickly. Daemon escorts his niece through the crowded establishment, taking in scenes of people in various compromising positions before assuming one himself, a passionate kiss with his own niece. Rhaenyra responds, however, and the two really start to go at it before Daemon demurs, apparently in part due to performance issues which he's dealt with in previous episodes. This scene may have been pretty uncomfortable to watch on multiple levels, but according to Alcock, it was kind of a breeze to actually film. Speaking to the New York Post, Alcock said the scene was surprisingly routine to shoot, thanks to coordinators behind the scenes as well as her solid off-screen relationship with Smith, an industry veteran who's appeared in everything from Doctor Who to Morbius. As Alcock told the Post, Smith and I were just kind of mates, so it was quite comfortable. We had an intimacy coordinator and we worked with her through the rehearsal process and blocked it out months before. That said, there was one major surprise, the brothel itself. Alcock continued, Claire Kilner, our director, made sure that we hadn't seen any of the brothel stuff until we were shooting. So that was our first time walking through the brothel, and he's guiding her through the room with all of these other bodies. So that was quite shocking. You're like, this is kind of weird and silly. There were extras who we had just met who were like 69ing for 12 hours. It's pretty gnarly. We felt pretty overdressed because everyone else was nude.
Directing scenes like that can be really difficult. It's a big responsibility, and it's important to shoot it from the right point of view.
Clearly, Alcock and Smith were put as at ease as possible during this tricky scene, even with the inherent weirdness of their surroundings during this pivotal moment. As a predecessor to House of the Dragon, HBO's juggernaut Game of Thrones drew plenty of controversy due to its often brutal depictions of sexual violence against women. And it seems that House of the Dragon may be taking a different approach, particularly in Episode 4. When Rhaenyra is left high and dry after her encounter with Daemon, she returns home only to seduce Sir Criston Cole, taking complete control in the encounter and savoring every minute of it. House of the Dragon also shows the other side of the coin in this episode with Alicent Hightower, the second wife and queen to Rhaenyra's father, King Viserys. Expected to be available anytime the king requests, Alicent is awoken in the middle of the night for one of his visits and is depicted as emotionless and vacant during the act itself. Though it's not a violent scene, it's an unsettling portrayal of what it looks like to, as a woman in a medieval era, forego your personal boundaries and pleasure as part of a patriarchal structure like an absolute monarchy. In any case, it does seem like the actors on set for House of the Dragon are well protected behind the scenes, no matter how controversial those scenes are.